You're watching Two Button Crew.
The daily show for Nintendo fans.
I'm Scott.
I'm Simeon.
We're here Monday through Friday talking about new games, old games, canceled games, and puppets.
Yes, puppets. Mostly puppets.
Mostly not.
Yeah, mostly not. But today we're going to talk about Marionette or Marionette or some combination of those two.
It was one of those researchy episodes, kind of like Super Mario 128.
Yes.
I don't know. Other things that... Maverick Hunter,
Yes.
Things where we go digging. We look for quotes. We see what happened about these games that never came to light. So, here's a really interesting one. And our question is, would this have worked if it came out and hit retail? Or would it have bombed? Let's talk about what it is.
Yes, let's.
Marionette? How would you like to say it?
Let's say Marionette.
Marionette. See, I didn't actually know until researching for the show that it wasn't a Mario tie-in. I had always assumed that because of the name.
But we don't know.
Let's dig in.
Let's dig in. Let's talk about this.
This was originally in development for the Nintendo 64. I had no idea about that either. They said they were trying to use the controller in interesting ways.
Is that why they gave you 3 things to hold on to so you could hold it like a marionette thing?
What could that possibly be? Like, would you hold the control stick with all your fingers?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't think they ever figured it out.
No.
Because it was then moved to the GameCube. And there's this list of games that was accidentally leaked. And like on this list on Nintendo's website, and then it got yanked right down. But of course, by then all the websites are reporting on it and stuff. So on that list was Marionette, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario 128. Before we knew anything about any of these games, so that was crazy. And obviously the GameCube came out in 2001. Super Mario Sunshine was shortly after, so this leak must have been prior to that. Here's a quote from Miyamoto in August of 2001. As for Marionette, it's still under development. It is not a Mario game, but an actual Marionette game utilizing a puppet. I am hoping to make something both complicated and simple at the same time with this game, which is kind of a contradiction.
Yeah.
Good call, Miyamoto. But already we are experimenting, and once again, sometime in the future we may be able to show you something on it. Something complicated and simple. Yes.
And I don't know, Miyamoto says stuff like this, but I don't know if he understands what those words mean. Like, I think he does, and I think he's trying to be like, what's it going to be like?
Right.
It's going to be, a balance between these two. I don't know.
How else do you raise hype about a puppet game?
It's simple. There's nothing complicated about it. Or it's so complicated that you're going to be confused playing it. I think that's the only way he could say it, honestly.
Yeah. In my opinion, marionettes are kind of complicated to do well.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all strung up on one thing that you have to do it with.
Yeah. I am not that talented. So Miyamoto says in 2006, so this is 5 years later, Marionette is probably more suited for something like the Wii. And
I agree.
I agree. However, that type of game is difficult. Just looking at it, it seems to be fun. Okay, now this is interesting.
Yeah.
He says just looking at it. I don't know if this is a translation thing, but this could mean that there was some sort of tech demo or something of this game.
Or it could have been, similar to the phrase that we would use, like, on paper it sounds fun, or the concept sounds fun.
Yes.
But, I think if it was around since the 64, there should have been at least some visual representation of something.
Yeah. Even if it was just concept art.
Right.
But then you get to the feeling of, well, what do I do now? In order to make such a game last, you have to give it, among other things, a strong story. Which is kind of interesting that they couldn't think up of a story to give a puppet.
Right.
Like, if anybody is going to make a great story, especially out of a great concept like having a puppet that you control, like, Nintendo can do it. But
Well, can they? I was gonna say, like, when has Miyamoto ever said this game needs a story? It seems like
that's true.
he doesn't focus on it too much.
No, that's true.
I mean, as far as, you know, a strong story, how he said a strong story or in-depth story or something. I mean,
that's a good point.
Miyamoto puts in, you know, the cake stuff in the Mario game.
Yes.
You know, like,
what does this Mario game need?
Little
Throw
stories.
a cake at it.
But I totally see what he means when he
Yeah.
says, you know, it sounds kind of fun to make a puppeting game, but then you get the feeling of now what? Like, obviously, if it's just a sandbox where you're learning how to control them and stuff, it is now what?
Yeah.
I could see it working like Mario as a marionette in a platformer where it was like difficult to walk right and jump and stuff, and like, you know, maybe your enemies kind of have it down, so you have to learn to move fast and not get hit, and, you know, maybe it's auto scrolling and you have to, like, you know, walk up the blocks and stuff. I think I would have liked this on Wii. I don't know about GameCube or N64. That sounds kind of futile. But I think Wii remote could work.
It could have worked. I see this, and going back to the question is it a Mario game or is it not? I think we kind of go back to, I think it would have worked well as a Mario gimmick. And Miyamoto said it wasn't a Mario game, but if you look at the Japanese title, it's a combination of the words Mario and net.
Hey, it's like that in English.
Yeah. So, but like net as in like the internet. So there could have been internet connectivity. So was it a Mario game? Wasn't it? We'll probably never know. But
I can't see it being a generic puppet. Nintendo doesn't really do that.
No. Maybe the next new IP, but that would be confusing. But I see this as it could have been the next gimmick in like the Paper Mario series and the Mario RPG series. Where, you know, they have it, you know, Paper Mario and then Mario on a stage and whatnot.
I thought you were going to say Mario on a stick.
Mario on a stick. No, we never had that. But I think, I think
standalone game would have been really hard too. Like, again, you need the story and need it to not get old. But what if it was just like a smaller tech demo as part of like Wii Play Motion or something?
I see that.
You even remember that game?
Yes. I recently like rediscovered that game existed.
I know. Totally snuck in under the radar. I think Wii was dying or something.
Pretty much.
Had no fanfare. That's about all I got to say on this game. What do you think? So,
I just have like one more thing to say is I think that they missed the boat on this. I don't think that this could come out now. Like, we have, like, when the PlayStation 3 came out, we had like Little Big Planet with, you know, the sock people or whatever. Sack people, not sock people. Sackboy. And then you have games even coming out now kind of like this. I can't remember. Well, there's Unraveled. I don't know. Stuff having to do with fabric and what stuff. Yarn Yoshi even. Like,
Yoshi's Woolly World even.
Yeah. Whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But, you know, those sorts of games that just have that certain aesthetic and that certain feel, and I think that they honestly missed the boat on it.
The quote you read from 2006 is like the last official statement, which I find kind of interesting. Like, Mario 128, we kept bugging Miyamoto about it until he was like, it's not a game, okay? It was never intended to be a game or whatever. But this one, like, nobody just cares about
nobody
this.
cares about
Let it fade away.
I think it would have been cool to see, and if it would have worked on anything, it would have worked on the Wii. But
WiiWare, download, shop, platformer, doesn't have to be that long. Whatever, $5. Could have been. Let us know if you would have liked to see Marionette. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe, and most of all, to share with your friends.
See you next time.
Signing out.